There are so many courses that I did in my final year before I graduated, and it helped me. I remember I did some course about machine learning. You can also do this on Coursera. A lot of people think that they need to come to China before they can actually access all the products in China. But generally speaking, I think that that's a lie. We know that what works in China is the online system. Anything you want to buy, you buy online. Even for the Chinese themselves, everything you do, they do online. If there's one secret that helped me to get 3 jobs, is understanding that getting a job is difficult. I knew that getting a job is difficult. I knew that it's not easy to get a good job. Chinese is very, very important to these people, not just because of the job, because of how you're going to be relating with the people that you're working with. I used to tell my students, my clients, that anytime they call you for interview, just know that you have gotten it. But sometimes their terms, their agreement, the things they tell you, it's not what you want. Some of the students that they have called for interview and maybe they didn't get it, or maybe they did not want to go ahead, it's because maybe they didn't get fully funded, maybe they got partial. I remember the second time I was applying for a job, I got the job from the Bus app, and I was getting interviews. I was getting nothing less than 4 interviews every day, those times when I was applying.
I'm sick of all these thoughts that are stuck in my head. I'm sick of wishing I could just forgive and forget. I'm sick of all these thoughts that are stuck in my mind, my mind, my mind.
Hello everyone, welcome back again to my channel. If this is the first time that you're joining, welcome to the family, guys. So today's video is a very, very important video that I think will really help a lot of you guys. And for those of you that don't know, I have decided to start talking about work because I noticed how difficult this is for a lot of students or a lot of people from home. But this video is for those of you that are applying for jobs from home. This video is just for those of you that are applying for work and how to get work as a foreigner in China. Okay, so I'm going to be giving you a step-by-step guide that would help you, guide you on how to get a job. Before I get right to this video, please make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and guys, you can check out omatravels.com to read more information about how we help students get CST scholarship. If this is something that you're interested in, you can always reach out to me, send us a DM, email us, and we'll guide you, help you, because we know so many students do not get the CSC scholarship and we are here to help. The first step is to actually research the job market. Guys, some of you do not have any idea on how the job market is. So I think that is the first thing to do. You want to understand what job that's needed in a particular country like China. So even those of you in Canada or in any other part of the world, for any country, there's always that job that is in high demand. Let's say, for example, in the USA, one of the job that I feel like is in high demand is in the medical field, talking about nursing or being a medical doctor. I know so many of my friends that are in USA. I even know one particular friend of mine who actually went to the US, and she went there with a master's, and because she realized that the job that was in high demand in USA was actually nursing. So this made her to go into nursing. So this is something that you also want to think about. In China, there are so many jobs that are in high demand. So you ask yourself, looking at your field and also the language. Those of you that don't know how to speak Chinese, you also need to think of that, or any other language, So you can always think of that so that you can be able to do your research. I think the job that I know that is in high demand currently is any job that have to do with business, TikTok, English teaching. these are high demand jobs in China. So if now this is something that you think you are qualified for, you should know that you have a high chance of getting this, okay? Also, you need to understand that every country have their unique way of doing their cover letter and also their resume. It's so funny because I did not know this. So when I was in my final year, when I was in my master's, and I reached out to my friend, one of my Chinese friends, and I'm like, okay, well, the time has come. Like, it's time for me to start preparing, to do my resume. I sent him my resume for him to look at it, and he was like, nah, this is not the resume. Like, this is not how we do our resume in China. And I was like, how do you guys do your resume? He said, okay, let him show me his own, because also he was also applying for a job and everything. So he gave me his own resume, and I could see that his resume was just one page. It has to be one page. You have to put your picture. You have to, there's so many things that he was showing me that I needed to do. And it was also in a picture format, right? It wasn't like in a PDF, because in China, I think that when you apply for a job, like this employer, they don't even have time. They just send them the picture, let them just see, are you also qualified? And also it had to be in Chinese. So this was something that I realized that I had to maybe edit my resume, make it look more presentable in Chinese. So for you now you're applying, you also need to be able to convert your resume in Chinese, so that in case, because it's not as if it's important. Some of these jobs, they want English speakers and they don't mind if you do not speak Chinese. But I mean, the person that is hiring you does not know English. So sometimes they want to see a Chinese resume. This is something that you also need to think about, okay? So that's the thing, I remember just sending my resume, and yeah. And that was how the guy helped me to edit my resume. The Chinese guy helped me to edit my resume. And I was like, thank you, because you saved my life. And also, I think in China, they don't really ask for cover letter. That's another thing I noticed here. But if you're applying to UK, Canada, some other countries, you need to actually prepare a cover letter. And there's a unique way they actually need their resume to look like. I remember for UK, there was this unique way their resume needs to look like, even for Canada. So you have to understand this. Also, you need to know the online portal that, as a foreigner, that you're going to be using to do your application. I mean, there are so many ones, but I always tell people that for China, I'm just confident about the Boss app. Though there's some people that told me that they couldn't access the Boss app, and I don't really know what to do about that. I know there's some people who say they apply to LinkedIn, and I know someone who got a job in China through LinkedIn, but to be honest, it's not so many people that actually get jobs from LinkedIn. But I have heard so many people who have gotten jobs from the Boss app. So you can always try your best to get this. And there are other apps. There are actually other apps. I mean, just do your research for the country that you are in. You have to do your research on which app works, right? I feel like in Nigeria have the apps that work. I don't even know if apps work in that country, but to be honest, I know that every country have the app that's employer use, the one that is very popular. Go for the popular ones. That's why I always say Boss, because the Boss app is very, very popular in China. I mean, when you're walking down the streets, you can just be seeing the adverts of the Boss app to tell you how popular it is. So I always tell people, if it's possible for you to download the Boss app, please do, because there's a high chance that you can always get response, you can get feedback. I remember the second time I was applying for a job, I got the job from the Boss app, and I was getting interviews. I was getting nothing less than 4 interviews every day, those times when I was applying. So I'm telling you that you can actually get a good response from the Boss app. So try it, okay? Also, I feel the easiest way you can also get job as a foreigner is to actually use the agency. So there are a lot of agencies that actually do this, they always post jobs. And I'm in so many of these groups, and I always see like them posting jobs. I would just be checking the job, which one is good for me. There's even this recent agency that I got, and I joined their group, and I always see the jobs that they're always posting, but it was just nothing that I want to do. And it's good pay, good money, but the job is always like, oh, you have to teach one child or maybe two kids, and maybe you can do a nanny job. Sometimes they don't tell you have to do nanny job, but sometimes they'll say, oh, there's always job, but it's just that it's not related to my field, but it's good money. And also, I do not want a job that will take me out of school, because I'm currently doing my PhD. So I want a job that I feel like I can do online. Do you understand? I don't want anything to distract me. So you also need to like try to search for agency that can help you. There are actually a lot of job for agency, and this will really, really help. When it comes to preparing for the interview, you also need to try your best to actually prepare for the interview, because as much as you apply for a job and then you get called for the interview, one thing that I really, really understand in China is that the moment they are calling you for an interview, just know that you have kind of gotten it. I mean, they just want to see your face. They want to ask you some more questions. So I know that anytime they are calling me for an interview and it did not work out, it's because their terms and their agreement did not go with me, not because I was not qualified. Because I've already showed them like my resume, I've already told them everything about me, I've already told them my degree, everything. So they've seen everything about me. When they call you for an interview, just know that you have gotten it. Even for CSC, I used to tell my students, my clients, that anytime they call you for interview, just know that you have gotten it. But sometimes their terms, their agreement, the things they tell you, it doesn't, like, it's not what you want. Some of the students that they have called for interview and maybe they didn't get it, or maybe they did not want to go ahead, it's because maybe they didn't get fully funded, maybe they got partial, like they take care of your tuition fee, they take care of your accommodation, but then your stipend, you still have to take care of it. Some of these things are one of the reasons people will be like, no, I don't want to go ahead with this. So prepare very well for the interview. Also, you need to actually prepare for the Chinese. As much as I want to tell you that, Chinese is not important, I mean, there are some companies that need English speakers and all those things, I will not be honest. But if I tell you now that try to prepare for the Chinese, this is me being honest, because Chinese is very, very important to these people, not just because of the job, because of how you're going to be relating with the people that you're working with. So if you cannot work well with the people that you are like associating yourself with, this is going to be a huge problem. It's going to be a big problem. So you need to be able to know Chinese so that you can be able to work well with the people in your office, okay? And also, you also need to understand that it's not going to be easy working in China as a foreigner, because you're not going to be working entirely with foreigners. Most times you're going to be working with Chinese. And let me not lie to you, working with Chinese is very, very, very difficult, because they always have, like, they always put this, they give you this high task that you need to achieve. And if you are someone that is not hardworking, you will really have a problem working in China. Because China, they are very, very hardworking. They work so hard. So you also need to prepare your mind for this. You need to prepare your mind that you're going to be working so hard if you're in China. So if you know that you're the lazy type, you cannot work in China. Trust me, if you know you're the type that they have to beg to work, you don't like work, don't choose China. Don't come to China. This is my advice for you. I also want to let you know that finding a job in China or in anywhere in the world can be very, very difficult. And a lot of people give up so easily. And some people, just because they feel like they cannot get opportunity in a particular country, they start hating the country. And I want to tell you something. if there's one secret that helped me to get 3 jobs, is understanding that getting a job is difficult. I knew that getting a job is difficult. I knew that it's not easy to get a good job. So when I started looking for like different job opportunity, I was not expecting for me to get something perfect. I know how it is that when you get to work with someone, you really don't like it, because I had experience back in my country. I was working and I even resigned back in my country. So I knew that working is not something that is easy. And I also think that because a lot of students have tried to get different opportunities and they have not gotten, it's kind of make them hate the country. Yes, so many people that you see complain about China, it's not really because um it's not because China is like that bad. It's just because they have tried their best to get opportunity as a student and they did not get, and they just put all their frustration in the country. So do not listen to what anybody says. Getting a job takes a lot of patience and you need to be persistent. Also, you need to even understand the visa type that you need, understand the documents that you're going to need. I'm going to try my best to put the link that I did talking about the documents that I used when I was getting a job, because the second job that I got, I think I paid a lot of attention to the second job that I got. So I was able to know the documents and every process. Compared to the first job, I was not really paying attention and it was just new to me. But when I was doing it for the second time, I mean, I was like, oh, I already know all these things. I know the process and everything, and it's not even difficult. So I think in a video, I explained all these things, and I'm going to leave it down in the comment section and probably even do another video to talk more about the work visa in China. It's not really that difficult, to be honest. The next thing that really helped me in getting a job in China was the fact that I actually had someone who had gotten a job in China. So I'm the person for you. So like now I found like an alumni who had graduated from my school. So he got a job from, I think, the Boss app then. And it kind of encouraged me and made me believe that, oh my God, it's also possible for me to get a job, because he was able to get a job. And I was like, oh wow. So if this guy was able to get a job in China through the Boss app, that means I think I can also get a job. So that was actually what pushed me to be consistent in applying for jobs. And it encouraged me. Though the first job I got wasn't from the app, they came to my school. The first job I got, they came to my school and they picked just only me from my school, because my field was going in line with their own company. And it was easy for them to get a visa for me. So it was easy for them to do this. So, but the second job, I think I used that guy, the guy that I knew that was able to get a job, to push, because I knew he got a job here. So I was applying. And I was applying for jobs because I just had 1 month to get a job. So within that 1 month, I was applying for jobs. I was attending a lot of interviews, guys, so many interviews that they will always call me for interviews. And at a point, I was just so used to it. And that's why I think, like, when it comes to getting jobs in China, like, I think I'm a pro, because I have been through a lot. I have been through a lot. And I think that my story have really, really encouraged a lot of people to see the possibility in actually getting opportunity here. Because I think a lot of people think it's so difficult. Yes, it's difficult. But I mean, if I could get it, why can't you? That's just all I tell people. Like, if I could get opportunity here, like, why can't you get opportunity? I look at the disadvantages that people say is a disadvantage, and I use it as an advantage. For example, one of the disadvantages that people say, oh, that they can't get a job is the language. A lot of people complain. They say, oh, the language, you don't know the language, blah, blah, blah. And that is their own disadvantage for not getting a job in China. While for me, I see that as an advantage, because then I'm not going to focus attention on the companies that are looking for Chinese foreigners, like people who can speak Chinese, I'm going to be focusing my attention on the companies that are just in need of an English speaker. And trust me, there are a lot of companies that they don't care whether you can speak Chinese or not because they know that Chinese is difficult. So they understand this, especially because even for them, they don't even know how to speak English. So why should they now be forcing it on you that you need to know how to speak Chinese? So you just came to China for 4 years, 5 years. Like, are you supposed to be like an expert? There are some people that are experts, but I think most of them are maybe like bachelors. Those people who did their bachelors, most of them are the experts, but I think others, it's not so easy. So this is something that you always need to think about, okay? Another way of getting a job is to just focus your attention on English. Right now, I think that because the border have been opened, a lot of English speakers are now in the country. So I might think it is difficult to get opportunity or to get teaching English opportunity currently in China. But still yet, there are still people who are looking for English teachers. So if this is something that you are interested in, if this is something that you want, then I think you should try to get your TOEFL certificate. So this certificate is a certificate that you need when you're going to teach English in China, like the TOEFL certificate. And if it's something that you want me to help you to get, you can always DM me and I will help you get this certificate, okay? Though, yes, I'll have to charge you for some amount of money, so I'll help you get the certificate. You can DM me on Instagram and then I'll help you get the TOEFL certificate. And also, apart from the fact that you need to apply for jobs, like English jobs in China, I think you can also try to get agents who can get you like online jobs. There are a lot of platforms, companies that help to get online jobs. So you can always do this and it will also help you. Okay. So yeah, like teaching English is something that a lot of internationals, a lot of foreigners do. Most times, these schools, they can't give you visa. So that's why I feel like some students, they will come in with like, student visa, and then they would still try their best to get the English jobs, okay? So this is something that you should know and you should try doing. Also, there are a lot of job fairs that I think that would help you to get a job. They come to school. So if you're a student, please look out for some of these meetings that maybe the international office, they'll call you that, there's this company that is coming. Do not run away from those kind of opportunities. Because for me, the first job company that came to the school, I did not go. I was like so busy because at that time, maybe you are in your final year or you're still in that period of time where you are trying to get some things done. So you'll be very, very busy to be attending all these job fairs. But trust me, do not miss them because that's your chance of getting a job in China. If I didn't go for that job fair that they had in my school, I won't have gotten a job. So I always tell people, please try to go for any opportunity that your school presents for you. Even though it's not easy, just try to go. You can also go into business. A lot of students are business owners. They have their business running for them back in their country. You can try your best to understand the business system, how it runs, how it works in China. This is also something that would help you, guide you, and help you to make money. Okay, so you can actually do this to get various opportunities. If you are currently in maybe your country, you can also try out business. There are a lot of apps that you can use to get products and sell in your country. A lot of people think that they need to come to China before they can actually access all the products in China. But generally speaking, I think that's a lie. Some of us that are in China, we don't have to travel anywhere. We are just where we are. we know that what works in China is the online system. Like anything you want to buy, you buy online. Even for the Chinese themselves, everything you do, they do online. Even the manufacturing companies, probably they don't even get their clients coming to visit them because, I mean, they don't cheat. They will not lie to you about the price. They would give you the price, right? So everything is done online. So that's something that you always need to actually also think about, okay? Another thing I'll advise you to do if you want to get a very good job is to develop your skills. There's so many skills that you think you can actually do. Try to actually attend some of these online courses. There's this there are so many courses that I did in my final year before I graduated, and it helped me, to be honest, like machine learning. I remember like I did some course about machine learning. You can also do this on Coursera. So you can do this. You can try to do a lot of courses that would help you improve your skills so that when the time come and the company now wants to employ you or they are interviewing you, they ask you questions. What are you bringing for our company? What are you going to do for our company? Like the skills that you have gotten is what you're going to say, oh, okay, this is what I'm going to do for your company, or this is what I'm bringing into the company. So try as much as possible to develop yourself, to develop your skills. And then the final advice I would be giving is that some people get internships in China and it has really helped them. So even while you are in your country or if you're in China, you can also try to get internship, right? At least with internship, most times they don't pay you, and this is okay because you just need that experience that, okay, you have worked in China. And it's very important to have pictures because even when you're looking for jobs and some of these employers, you tell them that, oh, okay, I already have like an internship, which I did. Some of them ask for pictures, some of them ask for some things, right? So try your best to get internships, whether in China, whichever country. China, if you are in China, getting internship in China is the best for you, even if you have to do it for free and they not pay you. Please do, because it will really, really help you. It will really, really help you. Even though you don't get a job in China, you have to go back to your country. Because I know someone who got an internship while he was working in China. And I think while he was in China, he even got a job from his country. And this is another thing. While you're in China, there are so many companies who already have like their own company in your country. And sometimes they just want to employ people who are already graduated from China to work in their own country, right? So because they know that you understand their people, maybe you also even know how to speak Chinese and everything. So sometimes there are some companies that would love to employ people from China, students from China that will actually go back to their country to work. So this is another thing that you can do. Apart from getting internships, try to focus on those companies. There's nothing wrong going back to your country to work. This is also good and can be done. So guys, I hope this video was really, really helpful. If you have any question for me, you can leave it down in the comment section. I will get back to it. I really, really think I love talking about topics like this. If there's any more topic you would want me to talk about, please also leave it in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye for now.